Hello, after a short break, welcome to the seminar which we organized all after each award ceremony. And we invited the awarded teams for a short discussion, a short presentation, and following a short discussion with all the people here involved. And the first group are the colleagues from Czech Technical University, and please introduce your project.
I would like to welcome you to our presentation of our project Next Chapter. On the orthophoto map, you can see the current state of the surroundings. This is our selected area that we wanted to put our interest in. It's usually only greenery around the arterial road to Highway B8, and we also wanted to take interest into the housing estate of Jablece and Prosek that we are I don't know how would you say it. Okay, let's move on then. This is the urban tissue. As you can see, it's very variable. There's the housing estate ring around the north. Then we have villas and contemporary housing estates, some favelas, and also a village-like part in the city. This is a problem drawing where we evaluated its opportunities, which was the Liberecká Street, the main ateliérů road towards the highway, and the near surroundings, and the strengths. In this case, it's the modular access of the housing estate of Jablece and Prosek, and then one strength that we saw in this cross-like structure. This is the conception scheme where we developed our superstructures where they are going to be placed. The main ones are the number 1 and number 2, which is like the first step into the northern gate of Prague. Then the structures 3 and 4 are taking place near the housing estate in Prosek, and they are taking different kinds of composition that is more like to the housing estate. And then our interest was also down near Vychovatelna, where we developed the village character near the Liberecká road, and then also on the hill where we developed the cross that I showed you earlier. So this is the day before, and now we are moving towards our master plan. So as you can see, the main parts are the superstructures 1 and 2. One is more of a city vibe, then the second one is connected to a greenery that continues on to the north. So we developed a park there. Then on the structure, I think it was number 3. Here we are around the hospital, where we created another parks, and the structure is like sneaking around the hospital, so it doesn't intervene with the purpose of the hospital. And then the superstructure 4 is taking the same composition as the housing estate in Prosek. Then we did the village down near the road, and the Holy Hill, as we call it, where we created a church.
What's also important about structures is the fact that to get from one point of the structure to any other point of the structure, you don't ever have to go down to the base level, to the first floor. You can pass through all the structures within the structure itself. So if you live, let's say, at the highest point of this one piece of the superstructure, you can get all the way to the end of this one, which was actually a kindergarten. So you can get all the way there across this street, which also cuts through our area of interest without ever touching the ground itself. Same goes for passing through the other, let's say, island of the city, because these two areas are basically on the same level geographically, and the street cuts through them, which is deeper and like lower, also like morphologically.
What I would like to add is that we also were interested in the greenery and the connection to the city. So, as I mentioned before, one is at the north, and the second one is here, where Okrouhlík Park is. So that's how we connected the greenery down to the south of the city.
So thank you very much for your presentation. So now I'll open the floor for questions.
For the presentation, I was very surprised with the topic because I didn't know the project so deeply, and I was surprised with your idea of the circulation of the people inside of the superstructure, inside in the structure as you described now, that you could move through the superstructure from one point to another point. Why is for you important to design that circulation inside of the buildings instead of the movement and circulation of people in public spaces? I mean, in open public spaces. Why this aspect is was so important for you in the design?
For us, it's very important. Also, the public spaces throughout the whole structure, as you can see even in the sketches. We try to make the public spaces interesting and important, not like the housing estates that exist right now, where the public space is not so great. But we also wanted to give the people the opportunity to not need to go to this space, because sometimes if you want to go to another building and it's like 14 stories high, to go all the way down, then across the street and get all the way up 14 stories again, you travel a lot longer than going 2 or 3 stories down and then passing to another building through skyfootage.
But the dimensions for movement are also relatively wide and long. Do you think that the environment inside of the building will be enough attractive for the movement for longer distances, not only from one building to another building, but because you described a relatively complicated way to the structure?
Well, the most important part would be to getting from one building to the next one.
Look closer,
yeah,
not
the closest one,
but that is the possibility.
Throughout the whole structure.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, my question would be, did you participate on the project brief, or was it given to you?
The project brief was given to us by our supervisors. It consisted of the area of interest, which was more or less given. We expanded a bit, but the most important parts are happening at the at the areas that were given to us. But to decide that it's going to be this type of city, not the Prague one type of city, the central city, the blocks structure was on our part. So I'm not sure what type of brief you aiming for, but
if you mean the location, yeah, we were given the location of the Prosek and Jablece, but we could choose where we want to develop the project. It wasn't like that here is bot A, bot B, and we need to be between that. We could choose all across the surrounding where we want to place the project.
Why am I asking? Because I think it's an extremely interesting brief, to give, because that part, or I don't know whether you got just one and you prolonged it, or whether you got it as a problem and you enlarge it to both sides. But I think in urban point of view, that on one hand side is enormous stretch, from point A to point B. And it's a very broad plot, and the jury appreciated that actually such a task is given, and that you kind of squeeze your brain in order to solve that, because it's a scar in the city, definitely. So that was very much appreciated. Also, your concern about parks, about greenery there and so on. The monoblocks, we were not, or this mega structure, we were a bit more critical to that solution. But from your pictures, I understood that you really took inspiration from the adjacent blocks from 70s, 80s. So that was clear, but we were a bit more critical to that. But we really appreciate that, the scope of your work and the question which was given by the brief.
The question was given by the supervisor.
Mm-hmm. What I miss a little bit is, let's say, a human perspective. That this is very much like from above. All pictures now what you have also shown is it's like bit bird view, but would be nice to to dive into some of your sites and show what is happening there.
Actually, part of the assignment that was given to us was to create a video of passing through the artillery, passing through the artillery of the city, and then you fly around the structure and dive deep into the structure, and then the video ends. So this was part of the assignment as well, but it was not part of the.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Maybe there is a Šimon Vojtík, the supervisor. So maybe you can tell us a few words about that.
Okay. Thank you for your questions. Thank you guys for presenting. Actually, the assessment for this year, this semester, it was we call it northern gate of Prague, and the issue was to develop such a loose space which has actually potential to be a city, so to be a very great piece of city, and of course in very tough circumstances, and morphologically and in a way of structures, actual structures there which are connecting or not, and that's a problem of the space. So one of there are plenty of points the students has to struggle, and one was the disconnection of the city, the potential of the we call it some kind of Manhattan place, because this connection between Prosek and Jablece housing estate has great potential due to the traffic and to the public transportation, all the things, and we have 9 teams, and this team, the two guys, they actually worked with the highway as it is. They didn't cover it. They didn't connect it in some progressive ways, and they worked with conception of modernistic housing estate typology, actually. So they worked with it like building a superstructure. Okay, and I understand that the jury had some issue with that. but they were also working with the detail of the pedestrian and detail of the parterre of the public spaces, very detailed way. And I think and I accept this point that it's missing in the presentation. But I think it's maybe because it's a really big area to solve to students which are doing first urban design project. So we know that they thought about it. They have lots of thoughts there, but the presentation itself of the public spaces and human scale is, I think, the weak point of the project. But only in the that it's not presented, it's not thought about. Yeah. Okay, so that's from my point.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. Maybe we can ask you if you are ready. Okay, sorry.
So, hello everyone. My name is Štěpán Masek, and I will present you my project of Kromě, the fortification ring. The object of the brief was the royal town of Kromě, and the task itself was to restore the fortification ring. I will wait.
Yeah, try to wait. I see it here.
Distance.
So here the bright yellow is the area of interest, and the task was to find urban planning solutions for the revitalization and stabilize this urban structure, which is the perimeter of the historical core of the city. And nowadays, what we can see here is this: the fortification ring itself is not present anymore, but the city started to develop here as it was the outskirts of the city. So you can see the housing estate, even car shop, and these things we call internal peripherization, which kind of creates this barrier. Even though the fortification is not there anymore, this barrier still works as a scar, as something not permeable. Okay. So we are on the west from Prague, something like 1 hour, and the future development of Prague and the highway will make it even closer. After analyzing all these structures of the city, I've developed this problem map of positives, negatives, and threats. Yeah, here I won't go into much detail here. I've the most issues I've described in the photos. So I will move to the vision. So I imagine the rakovník as this egg. So it has this shell, and even though it's not physically there, it feels like it's there. So I suggest that we finally break this shell and let the city expand as it should when it breaks in the first place. So it would connect with its surroundings more naturally and not be boundary anymore. So it works more like a connection. And to achieve this vision, I've defined 3 objectives. One is to strengthen and facilitate the movement to the core, blur the boundary of the fortification, and focus on the points of intersection and strengthen them. I won't go into deeper detail of these objectives, but I've defined more concrete things to change in the structures to achieve this. And this is the concept scheme. I will point out that the main things. So I want to blur the boundary by expanding the qualities of the core, which are things like material, paving, also density, functions. The first floor is commercial with mixed housing above. And these qualities I want to expand, so you much sooner feel like you're in the car when you go through here. So this boundary is blurred, and for example, now you feel here like you're in the city center and not just here. And I also want to drag the outside, the landscape inside with green alleys and trees, solitaires, and stuff like that. So here is the master plan. Now I will move to this aerial view, which is maybe more readable view. I just want to mention that I drafted this master plan by hand, and not only for the graphic purposes, but in the end, I realized that it helped me to grasp the city much better than if it was on the computer. This is the current state, and I've highlighted the changes, the points that are designed here. And these are the ways that you use the most to get into the city core. So I focused on them and made like a serial visions of all of them from pedestrian view, compared it with current state and the current design. And now I will focus just on one of them, which is this Prague gate here. Okay. So here's the detail of the master plan. So I defined where the paving will be, where the commercial first floor will be parking and stuff. And to finish, I will just walk you through it from like approaching the city core. So here I created a new corner building, new landmark. And the biggest change is here. Now you have car shop, cars parked here, park cars here, and asphalt, and you have the historical paving and nice things. Also, this space is much more welcoming and representative in front of the gate. And that you get to the main square. And that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. And
thank you very much. So, and again, questions, remarks?
Maybe I can start. Like, I deeply appreciate your very, very thorough analysis. Like, I always like when the urban planning stems from like very deep research and trying to understand the city. So can you just tell me like what percentage maybe of the semester you spent researching and doing the analysis, and what percentage was the actual design part?
Yeah, it was like first third or half of the semester sometimes, because I've also returned to some analysis because I found out, well, I had to do this, but I didn't think of it in the first place. So I returned and did some more research. And so it was like the first third and then back and forth.
Yeah, definitely paid off. Yeah.
So do you have some personal experience with this small size city like Rakovník? So where do you live? Or
Yeah, I come from Brno. So we have this kind of thing of fortification ring, 19th century. It went down and it was.
Brno is big.
It's big, but it was some kind of. I mean, the inner city of, even though some cities are bigger and smaller, the core is in most of them kind of the same. And after that, I've spent a lot of time in Rakovník, walking around and finding secret passages and details. So.
One more question about
from the audience. No questions.
No, I'm sorry. Well, if you do have them, just yeah. So one question about the presentation that you mentioned, that you are doing all the hand drawings, which again, great, and I get that, like you are close and personal with that. One thing I don't quite understand, like why are you just keeping it black and white? Like why don't you use colors? Because that's useful to like convey information just easier.
Yeah. For me, it was also a kind of challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have all the colors, you sometimes it can get out of the hand and you go crazy. So for me, it was interesting. How can I achieve the representation of what I want to say with limited things? So color is limited. I have to do the hedges and kind of focus on the graphics. So it speaks, but it's not too loud.
No, fair enough. I think you succeeded, and I do understand the challenge. Will you continue in this style, though? Like, is this something you will keep on doing? Fair enough.
Because every project kind of asks for a different style, and I love to explore new things and not to do the same thing again after I just did it. But it kind of it's present in my process. Like from the start, I sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot, and then when I feel like this is the design that I want to do, so it's my passion to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great workflow. Yeah, thank you.
Maybe I have another question. Was there any interaction with the city representatives there?
Yeah, this may be a question for Veronika.
Yeah, we interacted. We had with the city politicians and also the city administration of the Department of Development of the city, but also the interaction with the historical heritage. Ústavu. How is it called in English?
National Heritage Foundation.
National Heritage Foundation. Yeah, because it is the most of the area is inside or is close to the border of the heritage area of Rakovník, historical heritage area. So we had the three politicians, administration, and the professionals in historical heritage, which was very, very important. And for the city, it was for whole of the city, of the people, was it very, very important collaboration, because Rakovník is relative small, Czech middle-sized city, but relative small, and in the inner periphery of the Middle Bohemian region. Also, it is not so exponed city. It is not in suburban area. It is not very important local regional center. It is relative peripheral, smaller city, and the people there are nobody is interested in Rakovník. It was, in fact, for the first time, maybe in the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years, when somebody from the university came and, oh, it's very nice tasks to solve. So it was also very positive that they was very, very active in the collaboration, because they was very, very glad that they can cooperate with the university, and it was also positive.
So I'm sorry. So you came to the city, or the city came to you with the tag?
Yeah, I am the author of the plan of the development plan of the city. In my professional practice, I elaborated the plan of development of Rakovník, so I know very good the city, and that's why I select this assignment. took the assignment to the university, to the studio.
Okay, so, thank you.
Jakub.
It's already 1 year you've done this project related. If you're looking back, what's the reflection of your project that you work in design studio?
Yeah, I started the work in the design studio because it was great introduction for me to the world of urban planning and urbanism. Also because of the methodology that you give all the students. So the analytical part, for example, as you mentioned, all the time I knew what to do because we had some examples and some points to follow. So it was great for me. And but when I look back, I can see some flaws, of course, and that I would change, maybe make something you can always improve. But when I take the semester, what was possible to do. It was a great start for the urbanism, and then, for example, I did another urban project in Michal Kuzemensky's studio, and I was so glad that I didn't have to find what is urbanism about there, because there was no time for that. So I was really glad for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You said you've never been there before you started the project. Or did you know the city before?
No.
And what was the most pleasant surprise when you started working on the project? And when you went to the city, what was like the best impression to?
Yeah, I really liked the secret passages of the city and details like this, with all the gates and passages through the houses and the old Jewish district and places like this. It felt so romantic to me, and I was glad to discover them when I was there myself physically. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we ask our colleagues from Bratislava. Yeah.
So like creating a human-centric urbanism, and we are certain about people, and we prioritize walking and bicycles above the cars. And also, we want to save remaining historical heritage, and we would like to reconstruct, recycle materials, and also adapt human scales. And the basic unit of our project is the inner courtyards, the defined space for the people. It's very important for the people in the city to have like their own spaces. And also the next page, the 15-minute city, where it's like still a sufficient area where everything is nearby. Okay, so our location, where are we? We are in Bratislava, in the city district Nové Mesto. And our site, the first thing you know is about it is that it's a brownfield, which first it may sound challenging, but it's exactly the type of knowledge we're focusing on. And you can see we also the project sites. Also, on the right, this is our site. Right, and on the right there is Vajnovská Street with a tram, and on the left and bottom there is a barrier of railway, and so that also the potential of the area was to connect it with Račianská Street on the left, and also with Share on the bottom. We can't forget our neighbors. On the left we have upcoming projects of Palma by the Girl Architects, which is an amazing example of a brownfield revitalization, and also the upcoming project on Tradičně. So now what about us? This is our house plan. Yeah, this is our main concept. As you can see, there are like the main pedestrian exit that runs along the side of the whole side, and we created pop-ups like urban spaces, and previously seen as merely barrier, but now our project is like a passage to our neighbors, and also the major feature in our proposal is the Lunar Park under our side that connects everything, and also the upcoming Istrokem Park that flows to our park and connects everything together. And this is our master plan in color. And so the master plan, most buildings are mainly residential, and there are 4 to 5 stories, and so yeah, and they have like parterres and active roofs, so the people will like. We try to focus public amenities and administration toward the Vajnovská Street, because it has a potential to become a boulevard in the future. And on the contrary, the more we come closer here to Palma, the more quieter and calmer the environment will be. This is the previously mentioned pedestrian axis that connects the Vajnovská Street through the passage and Palma here with the help of treetop pathway, and it creates various public spaces such as the main square, the office plaza, and our Vajnovská Square, and perpendicularly it connects here with Tradičně with the help of the new Tiof station. The eco concept includes green rooftops, retention areas, and lakes. This is the traffic scheme where you can see the expected Tiof station, which uses unused and old railway, and also various bike routes. And you can see there are as few cars as possible, so we focused mainly on bikes and people. So let's look at the bird's eye view. So this is our axonometry. You can see the old buildings and the new one, and the connection with it. And there are 4 high-rise buildings in our sites that make a relationship with our neighbors, with Palma, and also with the silo and the good house in Tradičně. This is axonometry in color, greenery, and also we try to add as many things as you need as a human. And we add, for example, churches, cultural centers, galleries, and also 2 kindergartens, and elementary school with a swimming pool, I want to come closer. The following details are from these two locations. So we have the main square with the original buildings, which helped us create an industrial identity. And then we have the church detail, which shows us the church and an example of our inner courtyards. And the visualizations are from these three locations. So we have the main square. We have the visualization from the park, which shows us the brewery here and the theater or the cultural center in the background. And this is the treetop pathway, which connects our sites to Alma. Thank you for your attention.
Are there any questions?
One question. If I understand right, it is part or it is the edge of Dinamitka district in Bratislava. How did you deal with the rest of the area of Dinamitka? Did you have some idea what could happen there? Because this is a big transformational area and you worked only with relatively small piece. So did you somehow reflect that it can happen in the future, something also in the rest of the Dinamitka district? Or is it like cut it area, which is solved with context to the existing structure, but not to the future Dinamitka development, potential development district? How is it the relationship between to the Dinamitka area?
Yeah, so the whole year, the whole year, our classmates were each doing their parts. So we like looked at them, what they're doing. So that's why, for example, the Istrochen, the big park above our side. So we saw that they were creating like another structures, and we tried to connect them.
Okay.
So we knew that definitely there would be a park above us. So we took it into the consideration and created our linear park.
Okay.
So we saw like
So you reflected some kinds of parts of future solutions also in another part of the Dinamitka district. Okay.
Because we were also very much surprised how many projects were submitted from Bratislava. So and that's minutes to know that you cut the area and all projects participated in the competition. The explanation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Very, very clear and quickly visually clear presentation. With those kind of progressive topics, like 15-minute city, I always wonder how much theoretical learning was there, theoretical preparation to know what those concepts means, what are the impacts of those concepts. For example, if you want everything to be closed, then you have to also have some economical considerations. Yeah, do you have enough money to have all those facilities in place? So was there some consideration like that in your case concerning the capacities of and economical sustainability of that proposal?
I don't think that was our goal in this semester, because all of the instruction, all the projects would not be possible to be because of the waste content. Yes, so what we did here was that we saw a set site and we created something like playful, colorful, and what we learned the ideal idea of the what we learned the semester before on urbanism, the city for people. We took everything and the best things, and we just tried to apply like the most colorful version of it that we could.
So you did the semester before, you made some clinical studies, general studies on the concept of 15-minute city.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And were there some case studies that use some inspirational case studies?
Background for us.
It's from Jan Gehl or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So their structure and their house, their building heights, we took all of that from them, and we continued on our area. And so they also talk about. They talk a lot about Lithuanian city and city for people. So we just continued with their ideas.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you take this topic because, I mean, urbanists have to say a lot to them. It's a little bit also controversial. So it's,
But popular.
you have to know that, yeah, this is kind of controversial topic. Yeah. So, okay.
If I can follow up on the question. So how much did you coordinate with your colleagues and neighbors, especially when it comes to the functions? Because as you said, you kind of create something like independent, idealistic district that has kind of all the functions that you want to have. So did you coordinate with your colleagues? Meaning if I put a church here, then you maybe don't have a put a church there, or the commercial function if it's enough for 2 districts maybe, or not really, or you were just focused on your district. You connected maybe the main axes, and that was that.
There were so many projects that we couldn't have taken everything into consideration, but so many people. Our colleagues from our atelier were working the same side as we, so we tried to connect with other ateliers, but it's very hard with so many people and so many projects.
That would be a huge undertaking. I was just kind of curious, what was the process? Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Can I have one more question? We're speaking about 15-minute city. You speak about using the solar panels and so on, but you are using the structure of 19th century. You work with very classical blocks. Have you also other options? Have you considered other options as well, or you kind of placed your blocks there from the very beginning?
Well, because we saw Palma and Zacisze. Zacisze looks almost exactly like Palma, the same principle. So there was no other way for us to design it, I guess. So maybe if we put mega structures, it would be like a collapse between our neighbors,
There are also other options between blocks and mega structure. But thank you for your honesty. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
And now we'd like to ask you.
My name is Michelle Lovchenková. I studied landscape architecture in this university. Today I'm talking about my project, which is called Tradičně landscape. It's in located in some Bohemia in Czech Republic. Next to Living Lake or Living Dam. The topic was to define the biggest problems in this area and try to solve them and support values. The analytical part is separated into 5 pillars, points, and that I will now present to you and that are applied to my designed area. A value and a problem map has been created for each pillar. So the first and second pillar are about water in the landscape and shoreline. There is a major issue in this area with water pollution, built up and unpaved shores, a lack of retention elements in the landscape, and the disappearance of water courses. So the goal of my project is to improve the water system in Černá by focusing on better water management, water retention, restoration of water courses, and cleaner water quality. I'm restoring historical wetlands and water surfaces, bringing water courses back to their natural minting shape, editing shoreline vegetation, and introducing flowing islands to help purify the water. And the second pillar is about natural conditions. The landscape of Černá Pošumaví is full of forests, meadows, and pastures, and the goal is to keep in this way in the future. The analysis showed a lack of vegetation along watercourses and paths, which should be restored. Currently, important species like the blue butterfly and the small yellow flower are not well protected. To fix this, I suggest creating small protected areas where these species can live. Next problem is clear cutting and planting only spruce trees, and this should be avoided. Instead, a mix of different tree species and selective logging is recommended. The fourth pillar is about accessibility. So the analysis shows that during the communist era and the construction of the dam, many historic paths disappeared, putting off the connection between Austria and Czech Republic. Today, access to the area is very limited. So the plan includes restoring historical pathways and creating new education and circle trails. This will help people explore the landscape and appreciate its natural and cultural values. And finally, the fifth pillar is about supporting local identity. There was the main issue. This area is the uncontrolled expansion of buildings that respect the surrounding landscape. To prevent this problem, I have defined the regulations that should be followed from, for example, like the respect for historical urban planning or renovation of brownfields and a lot of another regulations. And there is the concept. The concept is based on analysis and focuses on improving the path network so people can easily explore the landscape and appreciate the natural and cultural values of Černá Pošumaví. Historic paths will be restored to make the area easier. And
It's coming.
Yeah.
For example, I think some education for in the landscape, and this new trail aims to educate visitors about water management.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions maybe I can start with the relationship to tourism. So, because the word tourism hasn't been mentioned, so how did you work with that?
With visitors, I think I didn't get the question. Sorry.
So, I mean, the whole Šumava region is attacked by a lot of tourists. So, but it was not mentioned here in your presentation. So, how did you deal with that in your consideration? this increasing demand of tourism? Because I know in Lipno there are, I think, maybe at least 1 million people is going to Lipno. You know, it's a lot of people.
I think I want to say this. I probably more worked with local people, and we try to solve the problems with them. And I think I didn't talk about the visitors. I don't know how to say.
You did, because you have new pathways and cycle roads there. So okay, thank you.
Did you interact with some local inhabitants, experts, representatives of municipalities?
Yes. Try to solve the problems.
On local level or on National Park Šumava level?
With the people that lived near Lipno and the specialists.
And did you make some survey, or so? Is how many people you was talking? What was their main? In which phase of the project you interact with them? In the phase of collection of data, or in the phase of confronting your projects, your proposals, ideas?
It's a part of people, and some a lot of people, maybe 50, like I don't know.
At the start of the project or at the end?
At the start and at the end.
Okay. And what was their reaction? What they appreciated from your project?
They liked it, but the headmaster of the area, I don't know how to say headmaster or some, she wasn't happy.
Why?
Because she tried to tell me she is trying to solve the problems, but it's different. Like local people has different
Opinions.
English.
Okay. Well, it's typical that the students get sometimes good reactions and sometimes not good reactions, and it's good that they are exposed to both. They learn how to defend their proposal. Normal. Okay.
Any other question? No. Thank you very much. I will switch to our final presentation, if I can. So I am coming to the winners. Ladies, are you with us, please? Because your microphones are switched off.
Yes, hi, hello.
Hello. So congratulations. And are you ready to present us your entry?
Yes, I think we are. Lottie is going to share her screen.
Okay, I will stop our sharing, so that let's wait a second. Fortunately, I don't see. Are you already sharing events?
No, sorry, I am doing this right now.
Okay. Yes.
Can you see now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, super.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Oops.
Technical difficulty.
Okay. Yeah. So can I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we are Laura Brieschke and Lotte Hugauf, and now we would like to tell you about our project called Tangible Danube. And why we choose this title of our project, we will explain that later. In our project, we focused on the redevelopment of a part of the Danube riverfront, is the Római bank, and we try to find some solutions to the flooding protection and some social issues in this area. As a first step in our planning process, we identified two main problem areas and then proposed some solutions to them. The first of these concerns was the alienation of people. Research confirmed that the number of the people who were working from home has increased in the recent years due to the factors, for example, the fact that working from home is very convenient, or the pandemic can be also a reason, the COVID-19, and we think that the reason can be also the huge advances of the technology. And we believe that this trend will continue to grow in the coming decades. And in addition, we did not want it to ignore the conflicts arise between the local communities, because we saw that these conflicts can be are mostly about that how to protect the floodplain nature in this area while protecting the buildings as well. And the problem can be also the conflicts between the communities, the different interests and various interests of the local communities, and the lack of the transparency of the land ownerships. The other identified problem is the flooding protection, yes, the red line shows us that where the main protection line is in this area, and between the river, the Danube, and this red line, the protection line, there is an area of 70 hectares that is exposed to the flooding. And this area has no or just a little protection against the flooding. And this is also a very big problem when the water comes. On the second picture, we can see that where in Budapest are the other floodplain areas. And the last diagram tells about that when, so how many times and in which height the Danube flooded between 1991 and 2023. And after these problems, I would like to present our solutions. To the alienation of people, we would like to create a community center for the families, including the little children, the parents, and the elder generation as well. And in this community center, the families can spend their days in one place. And during the day, each person could pursue their own activities, for example, in the nursery, or their work in the co-offices or in the retirement organizations. And after the work, in the afternoon or in the evening, the leisure activities will take over, and this community center would provide opportunities for all ages. Our solution to the flooding protection, so we did not want it to make an unrealistically ambitious solution to this problem, rather to try to build on what already exists and work with the nature in mind. And what does it mean exactly? We have three point vision how to manage this problem. First of all, we would like to regularize and reinforce the main embankment line that already exists on the Nánási Road and Királyi Road. The second point of our vision is about the existing buildings. We would like to encourage the owners to protect their houses, their buildings in their own, and we give them some ideas, some suggestions how to do that. For example, building individual walls or ensuring the easy evacuation of the lower floors. And the last point of our idea is for the further investments. The buildings be built in the future should be only built on a pillar frame or on earth fill. And after that, we imagined how to spend an ideal day in our community center, and we created our ideal vision that includes an infrastructure ensemble which supports and complements the daily life of the local residents. For example, from the beginning of the day, to getting to work, buying the first coffee, then the working activities, the breaks during the day, and after the work, the recreational activities. We would like to establish a space or spaces and some supplementary facilities that supports our goal.
Yes, and going on with our developments. Oh, yes, I can't switch to the next slide, so I give it back to Lotte. Yes, we during the planning process we consider it a key aspect to preserve and highlight and also support the continued existence of these real life values. So we identified some of these, which were the promenade along the riverside, which could make for a comfortable walking and cycling environment. Also, as we think one of the most important was the tangibility of the Danube, which provided for our title, as Lotte mentioned in the beginning, because in Budapest it's very rare for us to be able to touch the Danube, and we think it's important for the relationship between water and humanity. Also, after this comes the natural bathing area and beach, which are also very important values, as well as the recreational area here and opportunities for leisure activities. Also, we wanted to protect the shoreline vegetation and the flora and fauna here. And the last very important values we thought were the boathouses that are characteristic of this place, the Római Bank. So in conclusion, our strong intention was minimal destruction, and we wanted to utilize the existing buildings that were already here. So yes, we wanted to use as little intervention as possible. And on to the next one. We developed some proposals which were a bit broader than just the only area we did in detail. So first we thought about the public transport, and we examined the broader environment, the Római Bank, and included the Csillaghegy district, which is around here at the area. We thought that public transport was efficient, and so we only focused on the car traffic. We wanted to close off the main road called Nánási Road and Királyok Road and the promenade. So when the promenade and the Nánási and Királyok Road is connected by small streets, and we thought that cars dominated these streets, which closes off visually the Danube. So we wanted to restrict car from here, the connecting roads. Also, bicycle traffic is important here, so we wanted to address the pedestrian and cyclist conflict present here. Also, there is a bike sharing system in Budapest, which we wanted to extend here also. And circling back to this car traffic thing and the connecting small streets, we returned these into green bridges. So we did not just restrict the cars, but turn them into green areas and spaces. And our second part on the next slide for the development goals were focusing on the beaches, decaying houses, and the forward movement of this promenade. So, as I've already mentioned, we think that the connection between human and water is extremely important. So we wanted to focus on this by extending the existing beach, and we wanted to create 2 more nearby. Also, considering these decaying houses, which is kind of a characteristic of Római Bank, but it shows neglect. We wanted to address this by renovating these houses and introducing fitting functions here too. And about this linear movement, when we were walking along the promenade, we saw that people are just walking but not collecting. So we wanted to make larger open spaces for them to increase the chances of interaction. And we managed to find 3 places where these connecting places could be, and developed one in detail that we would like to show you on the next slide. So here you can see this one area that we developed, and we placed all the functions that we mentioned earlier about the connecting spaces and places. One is the incubator park with the co-working place, childcare, and the community center with the elderly. Also, there is this place called 9 to 5 or after work time place where the socializing and community time happens. And we also created some recreational spaces, and otherwise you can see the green bridges and other small shops and bakeries. We also managed to make a scheduling for our development, and we thought ahead 50 years in the future. So we think, or we hope we would like to agree that these goals would create an ideal future we imagined, with close-knit communities, quality time spent together, and work-life balance between the community. And on the next slide, you can see the detailed site plan of the functions drawing. And it's important to note that these defined shapes, these circles and squares, are not so much set in stone. It's just maybe like mostly imply functions that we wanted to imagine here, but like these circles, they imply the connection and the hubs of connectivity. So yes, they're not set in stone and they had to be put into shape, but they could be anything else, looking like something like this. And on the last 2 slides, you can see detailed drawings. Oh, and the sections, yes, first, you see the top section is parallel to the Danube, and the bottom one is perpendicular. And on the bottom drawing, it's important to notice there's one detail which you can see anywhere else, and it serves the goal of the flood mitigation with the houses on stilts. So I think it's important to note here that you can only see this here. Yes, and now onto the details. You can see the green bridge detail here, where we wanted to design their own spaces for every type of usage. And here you can see the positions of the bike lanes, the properties, and the green areas compared to each other. And on the next slide, you can see the waterfront called Kossuth Promenade. And it's the same as the green bridge. You can also see the way we organized different functions and the possible ways of usage next to the Danube, so they don't clash as right now they do, which is a huge problem at the area. So in conclusion, we wanted to give different types of usages their own designated spaces. And on the last slide, you can see a bird's eye view of our site and the proposal. So at this point, we would like to thank you for your attention and time and this possibility. We are extremely happy for the results. So thank you again, and feel free to ask any questions if you have.
Thank you very much. Happy to. So appreciate this deeply elaborated project. Maybe before we come to the questions, I'd like to forward to Mrs. Loukotová because she was in jury. What was your, let's say, consideration when you awarded the first prize? Do you remember?
Work of the jury is always a bit complicated. You were 7 members, and your project actually was liked by most of us. And it's not easy to achieve, because the jury was composed by architects, urban planners, landscape architects. So I think each group, so to say, looked on different aspects of your project, and we found it well balanced between how you dealt with nature, how you coped with Danube coast, let's say, or embankment, and now you also presented it in the way that it's still very inaccessible. Your river, your monumental river in Budapest. So that's somehow what we thought as well, that your project is picking up on this element, how to approach it, how to make it in the future more approachable and as a part of the city life. So that was very important. And then you didn't pay attention only to the embankment, but you went further. You consider floods as well as urban structure, connection to public transport, and indeed what you mentioned, the life of communities there, how to connect what you have now and how to enhance that aspect to the future. So there were, I think, several points which we considered, and other projects have the similar issues, but this one, I think that was 17. You got to 17 points. I don't know where do I have that, but it was written in the jury report. That you got like 2 points more, I think, than the second project. So
okay,
that's from my side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So questions. Maybe I can start. Is your project based on some real background, or is it rather an academic vision how this embankment might be developed in the future?
Well, we spoke with the local community, but I think it's mostly based, if I understand the question correctly, it's mostly based on our vision and what we would think would be the best, and not so much on the maybe the government's future plans. If that was your question, I'm sorry, the line is a bit dodgy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but as Laura mentioned, we talked with the local residents as well, and searched for some information on, for example, in groups, in Facebook groups, where people can express their thoughts about this topic, and it was an important basement of our why we for our idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will just continue on that topic because there is so many of social consideration which I really appreciate, because this project has also is very balanced in terms of urban design and then planning. So now this result that we can see now, did you confront it with some local community if this is the right arrangement that they would expect, that would be convenient for their internal needs of the community?
Well, in the beginning, yes, we did consult them, but after we finished planning, we didn't really circle back to them, but maybe we should.
Yeah, aren't you afraid of their reactions? you just haven't done it yet, because that would be extremely interesting to get some feedback that.
Yes, yeah, it would be. I think we agree also. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions from your side?
Then maybe I would just say pretty much the same thing. I would very much recommend you to actually try to push your project forward and to show it to the municipality, because you have a very nice multifactorial, quite soft vision, like all the interventions that can be actually like put into different stages. So I think they could be pretty interesting for them to see. So definitely try to present it somewhere, so it's not just academic work. It's well worth it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. That would be amazing, I think. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so thank you very much once more.
Thank you.
We are very sorry that you couldn't be with us today, but we will stay in touch with you via emails to arrange the awards and all the administrative works.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
And we are also very sorry we couldn't be there. Yes.
So,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. I appreciate that you donated additional time, particularly our guests who came from Bratislava. And hopefully you will spread the information about our competition to your colleagues or younger colleagues who can join us every year. And hopefully we will see you soon on our side as professionals to help us to deal with that endless troubles we have with our cities, landscapes, and states. Thank you very much, and I wish you a safe way home. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.